Alright, the last thing I want to do is go ahead and pull the idle adjust screw right here, and I pull that out, and I got to spray through that hole and that hole again, and there's a little hole in the center you could try to spray down into, but I want to pull that out. What you need to be aware of is on this jet, or the adjusting screw, when you pull it out, there's a little screw in here, and there's also a tiny little rubber O-ring in there. Be very careful you don't lose that when you're spraying stuff out, and maybe it'll fall out when I'm spraying it, so you can see what exactly I'm talking about. And I'm spraying down in there, and it goes through both directions. And as you can see in here, this goes over from here down to this way, and that's that same small jet that I sprayed in, or same hole I sprayed in earlier. And let's see, as you can see, it's coming out there, here, and you can see it's coming out up there. Nothing's plugged. What I really like to look for when stuff is plugged is the jets. Normally these suckers, if anything's plugged, it's either your main jet or your low end, or your, what I like to call the pilot jet. So I'm going to spray these out one more time. That seems to be spraying quite well. Just go both directions. Okay. And for this video, it'd probably be best if I was sitting on the other side so you could see it, but I'm in a hurry. I'm going as fast as I can. If there's anything in there, it's definitely blown out, if there was anything. So we're going to put this back together in reverse. So just put this in there. I'm going to start out at a half a turn out, right around there. Let's put the stuff back in the bottom, the pilot jet, and I think they call that low end. And your main jet. Forgot what they call that, but it stops the gas when the amount of fuel reaches its level. And basically what you do is you hold it on there like this, and you take the carburetor and you drop it down in the hole like that. It's a little bit pushed up, but there you go, like that. And you run this needle through. Now after you run this needle through, you need to be careful, because I've tilted it like this and the needle falls out and you lose parts on the ground. You don't want to do that. Last part we need to do is put the bowl over the top, and we'll screw that down in there. Next you'll see me over at the scooter. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and pull the low end jet. I'll put it in my tray here so it doesn't get lost with all the rest of my tool stuff. And then here's the main jet. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and spray everything out. You got to look through it and see if you see light. I'm looking through it now. I don't know if I see any light or not, but I'm going to spray it out anyway. You should always wear eye protection, or at least with this, cover your face, because you don't want to get any of these chemicals in your eyes. I like to spray it out in both directions and cover the little holes here. And if I seem like I'm moving fast, yeah, I want to get this done, and I don't mind creating a video, but just want to be sure that it's gone through both ways. Popped off. Let's put this back on. Now I'm going to spray the carburetor out. The choke I didn't pull off. It's a manual choke. It's a little bit hard to get on, so I'm going to leave it. But what I can do is open it and spray through it. Okay. And as you can see, it's coming out. Okay, so you know that's not plugged, and it's always good to spray in both directions. So you watch where that comes out, and then you spray in it on the other side, and as you can see, it's coming out the other side. Now we have two others here, and I'm not quite sure what they are, but we'll spray one in and I'll tell you what they are. Okay, that's the main one. The big one here is the main. See that? And this one here has to be your pilot or your low. Oh, this doesn't seem to be staying on very well. Maybe it's doing it because I'm in such a hurry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alright. The last thing I want to do is go ahead and pull the idle adjust screw right here, and I pull that out, and I got to spray through that hole and that hole again, and there's a little hole in the center you could try to spray down into, but I want to pull that out. What you need to be aware of is on this jet, or the adjusting screw, when you pull it out, there's a little screw in here, and there's also a tiny little rubber O-ring in there. Be very careful you don't lose that when you're spraying stuff out, and maybe it'll fall out when I'm spraying it, so you can see what exactly I'm talking about. And I'm spraying down in there.